Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, it's the world away, and we now got pack 4 of Agora Models build the GT500 Shelby Super Snake. Really excited for this. I do love the Super Snake builds now. I can't believe we're up to pack 4. What I will do is I'll show you a view of pretty much what we built up to the end of pack 3, so you know where we're starting from when we open pack 4 here. Now you can still get this yourself. I've put the link for Agora Models down there. You can get this from pack 1. As a matter of fact, I believe they've got an offer on at the moment where you can get this straight away now, and they'll send you the first 4 packs if you wanted to. So check out the Agora Models website. They've also got a Facebook page as well, and I put the link for the Facebook page down there, and any offers or anything they're running on there will actually be displayed on there. Of course, another thing Agora Models are doing is the Terminator build that was previously done by Hachette. It's still licensed by Hachette, and now it's distributed by Agora Models, and this is through pack, and it's 12 packs, and you can get this from Agora Models as well. Just sign up over at the agoramodels.com website and you'll be able to get that for yourself as well. But let's show you where we are on this build at the moment. Okay, in the last pack we were working on just the base section here with the differential, the fuel tank, and we've got the leaf springs there, looking just like that. So I'm going to put that to one side. In previous packs we've also worked on the seats, so we've got both the seats done, and obviously these seats are able to be pushed back so you could get into the back of the vehicle. There's 2 of those. We've also got the front fender and headlights and grille looking just like that. And then we've got the doors. That's the first door there, and showing you all the inner trims there, the handle, the window winder. You've even got like a little lock there and another little handle there for the little triangle mirror. And then the driver's side door, pretty much exactly the same, except this one here has got the wing mirror on it. So that is pretty much everything that we're up to at the moment, and that gives us a brilliant starting place now. Pack 4. So pack 4 starts at stage 23, and we've got the middle chassis here. So what we're going to do, we'll open that up, I'll show you what we've got in this pack. Now the middle chassis looks just like that. Once again, it's metal, really heavy this section is here, and we've also got some screws here, which are the MD06 screws. So quite simply what we're going to do is we're going to bring over the rear main chassis there, and we're going to be attaching this section here just over to these lugs here. It goes this way round, and as you can see, you've got 4 lugs to put this on, plus one that's going to go through the center section there. So when this goes on, it's going to look just like that. Now when we put this in, we want to make sure this is flush when we put it in, and once again I am using my oil technique that I used in the last one. This is just some 3-in-1 oil, and I'm just dropping them into the screw holes here just before I put the screw in. It does help the screws go in really easy, especially in the metal work there. So put that one in. I'm only just using a pin vise here. They're available on my Amazon store. But let's get these in. So these are MD06 screws. We only got to put 4 in. We don't put anything in that center one there. Here's the first one. Nice and tight. I think I'll do one just the other side here. There's no rhyme or reason to the way I'm putting these in, but I'm trying to do it so it's a little bit more uniform, and I've got enough pressure going to keep this completely level. Here's number 3. And last but not least, number 4, which does leave me with 1 spare screw from this stage. Now the good thing about Agora Models is we've got these spares. We can keep them together just in case we need them. But that is stage 23 completed. So I'm going to put that to one side now and bring over stage 24, which is the floor pan. Now we've got 3 different kinds of screws in this pack, so we'll get it open and I'll show you exactly what we've got. We've got the floor pan and 1, 2, 3 different kinds of screws. The screws we've got in this one are MD06, MD02, and we've also got MP03. So quite simply, once again, just going to bring this back just so you can see it here, and I'm going to be putting this just into this area here so that these lugs here will go into the holes here, and this is going to fit over these lugs here as well. So when we put that in, this thing actually builds itself, you know. So I want to make sure that that lug there is going through the center there and it's laying flat, which it is now. That looks absolutely brilliant actually. And we're going to be securing this in, but we've got different screws to actually be putting this in with. So the first screw we're going to be putting in is an MP03, and we're going to be putting it into this point just here. So I'm just going to drop some oil just into there again, and we'll open the MP03 screws up. So I'll put the MP03 screw in. Doesn't have to be too tight, because apparently we are going to be removing this screw afterwards. So I'll just put that in gently in there. Then we're going to need 4 MD02 screws just into these 4 holes here. So once again, I'm just going to drop some oil in here. And this will keep the actual pan in. But do be aware that in this section here we are using different screws. Now as you can see, these screws have all got a flange on, so that's what's going to enable this to stay in place here. So there's the first one. I'll do one the opposite side over here. There's the second one. There's the third one, and last but not least, here's the fourth one, which once again just leaves us one spare. And that is the floor pan in place. This is what it looks like from this side. Let me just show you what it looks like from the bottom at the moment. Looking just like that. The last 2 screws that we've got to put in are just going to be into this section just at the end here, and they're going to be the MD06 screws. And we only need to put 2 of these in, so we have got about 6 in here actually that it hasn't actually told me what to do with yet. But that's the first one in, nice and tight. And here's the second one. Excellent. So that is that stage complete. So I'll put that to one side again. We're going to work on stage 25. Now stage 25 is the drive shaft, looking just like that. In this one we've got a couple of screws. It's amazing just watching this growing as you're building it. It's great. So we've got MP02 for this time, and we've also got MP01. So quite simply what we're going to do is we're just going to put these 2 bits of the drive shaft together here, making sure they actually go around the right way. So that it should look like that when it's together. And we've got 3 screw holes in here, and in those screw holes we're going to be putting the MP02 screws. We need 3 of those. Always handy to have your trusty scalpel to open these up. These are really tiny screws. So we've got 1 there. Oh, we've got spares. I'm going to try and use my PHO screwdriver, but it might need something smaller. We'll have a look in a second. Let's see if that works. Get that in. Oh no, my PHO is absolutely perfect. So that's the first one in there. Nice and tight. I'll put the one in the other side here. Just like this. And then finally, we've got the other one in the centre there. And by the look of it, we've got another 1 spare there. So there's the last one going in. Looking just like that. And then we're going to be bringing over the chassis, but turning it upside down. Being careful on this side, because obviously we've got the inlet for the fuel tank just on this side here. And we're going to be putting it into the drive shaft here. Now on the end of this, as you can see, we've got one end which is flat. We've got one end which is round. We want the flat end. We want the flat end to be facing down like that. And that's going to go into this differential here, just that way round like that. So we can push that in, make sure it's sitting flush, just like that. And then we're going to put the lugs for this just in the 2 holes that we've got into the floor pan. So that's the first one in, and that's the second one in. So as you can see, that's in nice and tight. But we need to secure this in place, which means we can turn this upside down, and we're going to be putting 2 screws in here, which are going to be 2 MP01s. So when we put these in, just hold it underneath with your hand, and then you can go through on top to make sure that that's not going to pop out, and that will keep that into place. So that's the first one in. Do the second one, which is over this side over here. Make sure that's in nice and tight. There we go. And now that is that drive shaft secure. Now putting that to one side again, stage 26, we've got the bottom of the gearbox here, and we've also got the Gearbox Crossmember to put on. So we get this open. We're whizzing through these stages, aren't we? This is excellent. And then we've got MP01 screws, some more of those. So bringing this back over, obviously we've got this drive shaft going into the differential. So on the other end here, it's going to go in this way round. This gearbox is plastic, but it's going to fit over these two lugs here. As you can see, you've got two holes just at the bottom there. It's going to fit over these lugs. So just line the lugs up, push that into place, and then we're going to secure that in with the MP01 screws. Now it takes two of these, so once again, it's best to hold it from the bottom there and then put the screws in just from the top over here. Nice and tight, so that's one in. And then the last one will go in this side, just here. I'll tighten that up and show you what, again, that looks like from that side. So far we've done the drive shaft here, and we put the bottom of the gearbox in there. Now keeping that this way round, we need to put the cross member in. This is what the cross member looks like. It's just a brace that's going to keep this into place. Now as you can see, you've got some lugs at the bottom which are actually raised above the surface there. They're going to go this way down into these lugs just here. Just like that. And once again, they're going to be held in with the MP01 screws. So what we do, I'll keep it in place with our hand, turn it upside down, and then we just screw these into these two holes here. So that's the first one. And here's the second one. Nice and tight, and that gearbox is now not going anywhere. So putting that to one side, this is where the car's really going to pop. We've got stage 27. Now stage 27, as you can see, is the front chassis. So this is going to give you an idea of how big this vehicle actually is. So I'll get that out. We've got some screws again. These are MD06. And I'll show you the chassis looking just like that. Again, it's metal. Look at the paintwork, how flawless that is. So when we bring this over now, you can actually get an idea. Oh, this is really exciting. I can't wait to put this on, how big the vehicle is. Okay, this is going to be going on this way round so that you've actually got the brace going down. And we're going to be putting it over these four lugs that we've got on the end here. So I'll put that in. Just like that. And look, before I even screw it in, what do you think of that? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? So we're going to be putting this in with 4 MD06 screws. Now, once again, as I said, we are going into metal, and I really want to treat this chassis with respect. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop some oil into these holes. I can't believe how big this is. It's only when I've turned that or attached that bit on that I'm like, wow, this is going to be pretty amazing. Which now makes me think, where am I going to put it? As you can see, when I tighten that screw up, the front end lifted it up. Obviously, you want to make sure that it's staying level. Here's the second one. I'm not going to tighten that too much because I really should have put one over this side. So let's do one over this side. There you go. Make sure this one's really tight. And I'll put the final one in just here. Again, nice and tight, and then I'll go back to the other screws here and just make sure they are completely and utterly tight. Which they are. That looks absolutely amazing. Check that out. That's the underneath of the vehicle there. And that's this side here. It looks absolutely brilliant. So once again, I'm going to put that to one side, and we're going to do stage 28, which is the front fender splash guards. Now they look like that. They're in this packet. Let's get these out. Obviously we've got two of these, and we've got MD06 screws again. And they're looking just like these. These are plastic, looking just like that on either side. If I position the actual chassis that we've been working on just like this, these are going to go in to these sections just here. Now, as you can see, we've got a slope inside here, and it's the slope inside that actually goes towards the middle of the car. So this one's going to be sitting in kind of like that, which means this one over here is going to be sitting in there just like that. Now, as I said, these are going to be held in with MD06 screws. And once again, we are going into metal, so it's not going to hurt me just dropping a little bit of oil just into the holes there, just to help lubricate the screws up when they go in. So that's those in. And we've got 4 of these to put in. So that's one. I'll put the inner ones in first. Number 2 over here. Now support the weight by holding the chassis. You don't want to push too far down with it not supported, because obviously remember you've got the gearbox here and you don't want to put undue pressure onto that. We've got the one at the far side over here. Just like that. And then last but not least, we've got the one just on this outside edge here. Make sure it's nice and tight and they're going nowhere. As you can see, they're not loose. They fit perfectly in there, just like that. Now we don't need this chassis for stage 29, so I can put that to one side because we're going to be working on the steering rods. So this is stage 29 with the steering rods there. Let's get this open. Now, as I'm opening these up, just to let you know, all of these steering rods are metal. And I knew that as soon as I heard them hit the mat here. Listen, see? You can tell they're metal. Now, the first one we need is the right tie rod, which looks just like that. Not to be confused with the left tie rod, which has got this section on there. So we want the right one. This is the center link here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the right tie rod onto the center link. Now, to do that, we make sure that the center link is going on top of the right tie rod, just like that. And then we're going to be putting a screw just through the middle there, and that's going to be a MD06 screw. It helps to navigate it as well. If you see, I've not got it this way round, it needs to be this way round. So when we put the centerpiece on, this section here is sort of going off away from me. So we're going to be putting it on just like that. So I'm just screwing that in, just like that. Doesn't have to be too tight, but enough to hold its own weight, as you can see there. And then we're going to do the left side here, but the orientation for this is going to be that way round. So as you can see, that's the orientation. Best to match it up with just what you see at the top there, that way round. So we'll put another screw in there. So I'll line that up and we'll get that screw in there. Now I am just going to loosen this one off just a touch, just so the parts can move freely like that. But that is the completed steering rods. Now the last stage we got here, stage 30, is just some steering and suspension components. So we get these out. Got a number of things in here, so I'm going to open all the packets up. Normally the things that are in their packets on their own are metal parts, and they're protected for their own good to keep them in their own packets, which I love the idea of because obviously it aids in keeping the paintwork immaculate. Saying that though, this one is plastic here, but again, look at the paintwork on that, how cool that is. Now once again, I'm going to bring over the chassis, but I'm going to turn it around this way here. Just putting it down gently. And as you can see, we've got these holes here and here where we're going to start putting the suspension arm mounts. Now, they've got sort of like a keyhole pattern there, which is going to exactly match the pattern you see on the other side. So one's going to go in this side just like that. And then the other one will be going in the other side just like that. And once again, these are going to be held in with one screw each side, which are the MD06 screws that we've been using pretty much throughout this pack. But I'm just going to take one off here as I turn it upside down because I'm going to need to hold it in with my finger here. But again, we are going into metal, so it's not going to hurt just to drop a little bit of oil in there. Get my screwdriver loaded up and we'll just put it into that hole right there. Nice and tight, and put that in. Again, if you do have problems with the screw, put it in as tight as you can, undo it, blow off any metal shavings that you see, and then put it back in again. But as you can see, that's gone in absolutely perfect, nice and tight. I'll keep it this way round because I know how this one's going to go in. It's going to go in just like this. And once again, we're going to be putting this in with an MD06 screw. So we put that in, make it nice and tight. There we go, that's in lovely. So if I turn this back over, those supports are now in. Now we're going to be putting the steering gear into place, which looks just like this. So this can only go in one side. As you can see, you've got an opening just on this side here, It's going to match what you just see there. It's going to go in this way here with the rod facing in towards the gearbox, and that's going to be held in with an MP01 screw, which again means holding this in place, turning it upside down just like this. I'm sure one of my cameras can see that, and then we just screw this in from the other side. Make this nice and tight. Excellent. So from that side that will look just like that. We're just going to put that just to one side temporarily while we bring over the steering rods again. And then in this section in the middle, we've got a tie rod here. And we're going to be putting that over the shaft that we got here this way round. So the thinner section's actually going down onto that. Just like that. And then that's all going to be held into place with an MD02 screw. Now we only need one of these. But once again, we are going into metal. And I've just made it standard practice now that I do drop a little bit of oil in there, just to keep that in place. So I'll hold that with my hand there, we'll get this in. Just tight enough to keep this in place. Should be able to move so we can actually attach that to where that's going to go. Now that's the whole steering assembly done, but that is also all we have to do in this pack. So that is looking just like that. Still able to move around, and then we've got the vehicle that, as you can see, is looking like that. God, I'll have to sort of like pan and scan it across. It's so big. As a matter of fact, on my side camera it's probably better. That's the underneath, and that's now what it looks like on top. But that was an excellent pack, and you've just seen it grow in this 20-minute or so video. I just love this build. This is becoming one of my favourites. As I said, if you want to get this for yourself, I've put the link down here. You can go over to the Agora Models website, and I said they do have offers on all the time, so check that out, and you can follow along with me to build this. It's going to be an absolute brilliant thing when it's finished, that's for sure. Other than that, I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.